This episode of an Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by David Downing. Thank you.
Oh, dude.
Ez, what's up, man?
Dude, I'm exhausted. I need a short rest for real. I can't do it.
You okay?
I don't know where I am. I'm in Westeros, Narnia, the Westlands.
You're an Amanda, baby. And you're in for a treat. Here, drink this.
No, I can't. I blew all my carbs on those boneless wings.
No sweat, dude. This is keto clean. Dr. Bean coffee. Normally, I'm nipping on some Up Blend, but I'm not into self-promotion. You know that. I'm not all about that. So tonight, we've got some Second Breakfast Blend. Oh, really?
Lord, that is delicious. He knows about them, doesn't he?
What?
I was doing a joke.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't get it. But you know what you should get?
My jokes, maybe, from time to time.
I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, well. How about some Dr. Bean coffee? And you should too. Yeah, that didn't quite make sense because I went off script. But I'm talking to you uppers. Check it out at drbeancoffeecompany.com. That's drbeancoffeecompany.com.
It really is the only way to stay up with Up.
Hello, friends, and welcome to an Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez.
And I'm Lane.
And we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in an itty-bitty, teeny-tiny, teeny-weeny little, but not in spirit, village called Amanda.
Wow.
Amanda. I whispered it. Sometimes when you whisper in a podcast, it just... opposite of clips out, it slips out.
It does something. It did.
Amanda.
Now
I want everyone to hear.
We clipped out.
We
for
clipped
sure.
out. Was I read?
I'm flying blind over here.
As
so
have you
really
read
tell.
what they're saying online about you, man?
Can I just say?
I'm seeing some proof.
Do you know
of
what
it
I've
right
been
now.
reading about you online?
When I search an unexpected
Lane
podcast,
does
an autofill is an unexpected podcast.
the
Ezra.
singing of Amanda?
That's what I've heard.
Too often.
And I've heard you're scraped. You're scraped. You're stretched.
Yeah.
Like butter over too much bread, man.
I know. People have been coming after me.
It's okay.
They've been coming after me. And let me tell you something now.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that I've seen some evidence of that.
This
tonight.
mind may be. This head is not this big for no reason, friends. Let me tell you right now.
You guys think Ezra reads books? He actually eats them, and they just make his head more. That's why your head is square. It's the shape of a book that you eat, and it just fills your head space.
When I get home tonight, I will take a picture of my pillow, okay? My pillowcase full of books that I sleep on every single night.
Osmosis. I get it. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Osmosis, Kirk.
You can make fun of this head if you want.
I wasn't.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those.
Oh, the folks online.
I'm talking to those people who are out there who are saying,
you're slipping, man.
Ez.
You're slipping, Ez.
Spread too thin, dude. Spread too thin. Like butter, right? Spread over, right?
Sounds like clickbait. You know who pushes that stuff out? A certain fan club.
They straight came after me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
They did.
I know.
And there are other people who are fanning this flame. And it ain't the secret flame.
Oh, I knew you were going there.
You know what I'm saying?
Flame
this is not the right flame. So
dark
I
fire
get
will
it.
not avail you.
I hear you, and let me speak a word of command to you.
Okay. Are you talking to me still?
I ain't talking to you.
Gosh, you keep saying you, and I'm thinking
I'm responding
it's me. Okay, all right.
to the people who are trying to, right, lay this wizard low. And I ain't gonna, let me...
For a short rest, or...
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. You put all that together. I mean, spread too thin, laid low, short rest. I have no idea what's going on right now.
I didn't write any of that. I want to be clear. That was not in our doc.
That is off script.
As is most of what we say.
I think I literally just proved every single person out there who was saying those things about me correct.
Yes, you did.
Ez has completely lost his marbles. And that's okay.
I mean, do a lot of the greatest characters throughout history lose their minds? Arguable?
Yeah.
I think it's arguable. Sure.
The great joy about
Yeah.
finding one's marbles comes from losing.
So now you're using the term ones instead of you. So I'm thrown off.
marbles.
Are we
Switching.
in the same room here?
I'm
You're going from
switching.
proper English
Yeah.
to informal.
I know. Isn't that weird?
What are we doing this week, man?
So this week we're getting some well-deserved rest, albeit short. How do you say that? Albeit.
Mm-hmm.
No, albeit. You
I'll
stay
tag.
lane.
You'll tag
got
'cause
it. I
you're
get
it.
Tag. Hide and seek. In chapter 3, a short rest. This stuff is flying by. I wish you guys could see the
isn't
doc.
it?
I wish you guys could see
That was
doc.
a quote from you earlier.
Yeah, it was.
So I just thought I'd put it in blue ink.
Uh-huh.
Digital ink, but still. How are you, my friend? Quick counsel. Let's get right into it. I know we were kind of talking a little bit there earlier. Sorry, I got us sidetracked.
You got me fired up was what you did, which is what I like.
Call me Julian Edelman.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
my Tom Brady.
Well, I was going to say, actually, to continue
And Matt
that
Brady
on,
is also kind of your Julian Edelman.
He really
Who was the
is.
guy who looked like him who played with Tom Brady before?
look like
Who was
Matt
that
or
guy?
Julian?
Julian. He was another short receiver.
Somebody looked like Matt who was playing for the Patriots. Like, oh my, he'll lose his mind.
Randy Moss. I mean,
Well, I don't think so.
they played the same, didn't they?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? The little short receiver who also looked like. Wow, Matt's probably screaming right now. You know his name?
Welker, Wes. What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think it was
Something like that.
small. Could also throw. Was a college quarterback. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, whole point is getting fired up. And this is a little tie-in to further up. We had a discussion earlier. You know, I get it's not just that people are hearing me ramble on about different fandoms and saying Ez is just lost. It's that they're putting two and two together. They're hearing, right, what I am saying. Then they're going to the YouTube and they're checking out the video and they're saying, I see a lot of gray. I see a lot of gray. Silver lining
In your hair.
in my hair.
Okay.
Ez is getting.
I'm not gonna lie. I was sort of reading ahead there for a second, and I did, for the first time ever. I'm not even kidding. For the first time, you do this on a regular basis.
all the time.
I didn't hear what you said.
All the time.
All I caught was a gray lining, and I was like, wait.
Gandalf, the gray?
Yeah, I was like, who are we talking about now?
I know. No, earlier,
Yeah, no, you are going gray.
Well, hey.
So it's Ez versus Era, I guess, really, instead of Tom versus time. Yeah. But I think that you are going to outlast us all, Ez, somehow.
I don't think
you
so,
will
man, but I appreciate that.
Persevere.
How
are you persevering right now? How is life?
The body will decay, but the spirit
mind
and the soul, or whatever the quote is, lingers on. All right, cool. I'm doing great, buddy. I'm honestly doing great. I've got like this extra jolt of it. You know,
I know, it is kind of weird. It's that commercial. Doing those commercials every episode.
Well, also, you know what you're doing? Lane does. I don't know. That was like 3 gulps because we did like 3 takes on that commercial, and that was like legit. No, we always did 1 take. What are we talking about?
Yeah, sure. 1 take, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just so you guys
The
know.
1 take rule.
The one.
Yeah.
What? No.
1 take to rule them all.
I don't want to talk anything about any one ring.
We'll drop
well,
news,
okay.
which is actually going to be. It's making a move. All right, it's moving down the block. It's
Right.
going to TGI Fridays. You know remember that old lineup? You remember that?
Yeah,
Family Matters.
Yes, I do.
And I can't remember any other shows. Step by Step.
Steve Urkel.
You probably weren't allowed to watch that stuff, don't were you?
I did watch some of it.
Michael Jackson made
Snuck
a guest
it in.
appearance, so you probably wouldn't.
What?
I'm joking. I don't know if he did.
I doubt he did he? I mean, like, from what I know now, I highly doubt that he was in, any of those shows. But just because the style of music was not one in which they would do not spit that
Just
all
keep
over
going.
the computer.
Keep going. This is great.
Lord have mercy. Yeah. I'm doing
One
great.
take.
One take. And we're going to get back to dropping eaves. But before we do that, I wanted to ask you how you're doing.
I'm doing good, man.
Because I'm looking over here and I'm also
We're not done
seeing,
with quick counsel, are we?
No, we're not even. That's why I'm asking you. What's going on? I see a
Gray hair or two.
What's happening?
I know.
What's happening?
We're
to
getting
us?
old, man. I mean, we're getting old.
We need a rest.
We do need a rest, yeah. Teaching online is, some days it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Some days I feel like a madman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I do feel old. I feel like, especially I'm starting to see it.
Sounds like we're about to quote the movie.
I'm starting to see it. Oh, yeah, jeez. I do feel sort of thin, like stretched. Like, I don't know.
Tell me about
trying
it.
to think of a perfect analogy, like butter. Scraped over too much tuna.
Yeah, let's go.
Mayo.
Right.
You know, just clinging to the jar. Ketchup. You know, water.
about-
The watery separation that happens. You know, the ice melting on the floor.
Right.
You know, money crumpled and peeling apart.
Couple things.
You know,
Well, are you got more?
A
Keep going.
cuticle hanging by one last thread. You know, a fork.
Could you really go all day?
A fork, though it went through a wash, still gunked up. You know,
All right, you're kind of losing it there.
okay.
All right, that was a stretch.
I'm starting to see it with
that was a stretch.
like okay, so
Anybody?
back again? we just did like a downward spiral just over and over again.
People are like, literally, it's the coffee, guys. You got to
the
go buy
coffee.
it. I'm telling you straight
It's-
up.
It just gives you a good time. Like, is it spiked with something? I don't know, Charlotte. You tell us.
Straight
Like,
up, I am legit
Charlotte, what are you sending
juiced
us?
right now off that coffee.
What's juice?
No, I mean,
Oh.
like energized.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, man.
That was a really good point about all of those various things. Who remembers like the ice
I
that
do.
fell on the floor that
It's right out by the fridge right now.
Right, but
It's
I
all
think-
water under the
think
fridge.
about the years of ice, right? How many of ice cubes have lain on the floor?
Lane. Wait, which one is it? Lane or lane?
I say lane because you're here.
Okay.
You know,
Spelled. It's a homophone.
I have no idea. But anyways, you know, it's just we're getting old.
Getting old. I'm starting to
Yeah.
see it a lot in the girls,
Okay.
which might not make sense at first blush, but if you let me explain, I don't know why everyone's cutting me off.
Who's writing the show?
That's the problem. It's actually entertaining because no one's writing it. So here's the thing. That might have been a subtle jab at never mind. So anyway, you can laugh, all right? Don't leave me hanging out there.
I was laughing.
Don't make an awkward face and then sip your White Claw.
But I do. I leave a little extra. See, those are the nonverbal things that people see on the video.
Exactly. And I just gave a little taste of what everyone could be experiencing.
Come on.
So, wait, what? Yeah, no, the girls getting
Right.
older and getting bigger. I'm like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
They are, and we talked about it actually in Further Up. If you go listen to Further Up, another shameless plug because guys, if you're not into Narnia and if you haven't gotten into that, get into it alone. And I don't care if you do or not. I honestly don't. That is a podcast we would do no matter what. No matter what. 40 minutes already?
We're good. No,
All right, cool.
I was checking to make sure,
On my levels?
No.
If you get into it for no other reason, get into it because you get to hear Sarah talk
come on.
and share deep thoughts.
Yep.
And get introspective. And it's just a joy. It's a joy to behold. But also, something we talked about today was this whole idea of when Lewis started writing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it was for his goddaughter, Lucy.
Yeah.
And that he found that girls grow up quicker than he was or she in particular, children grow up quicker than he was able to write. And it hit home. Like I almost started, I get those, I read a line,
Yes.
I read a line and I'm like, I have to move away because I'm going to start
Yes.
crying. I had one of those moments, man. And I was like,
the beginning,
jeez.
yeah.
And it worked on a lot of different levels, but one of those levels being that, like I was, and every once in a while, I don't know, like it hits you, you go back and look at old videos or photos or whatever. It's Brown season, right? Football season. So the Cleveland Browns are playing, and every Sunday we watch games, and sometimes the girls dig it, and sometimes I'm the only one watching, you know what I mean? But it's like a family tradition.
Yeah.
And I came across an old video of Winnie. It's from a year ago. It's from a year ago, man.
Wow.
And her voice and her vocabulary is so different. Like even the way she looks, she always looked like she was sleepy. You know how babies, they just look, or like, 1 to 2 year olds, they always look like they're sleepy, and then they start to become more adult-like looking. Like Charlotte still looks very sleepy.
She does.
all the time.
I know exactly what
But
you're
in a
talking about.
year, she won't, man.
Right.
She won't look sleepy unless she's actually sleepy anymore. And I don't know. It hits you in moments, and you're just like, wow, I'm not gonna get any younger. And you have moments where you Okay, it happened. I put it on our Instagram story. I was watching the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, which I will continue to contend. The last 30 minutes is the greatest example. It's the pinnacle of cinema. Mm-hmm. Nothing will ever beat it, and nothing before it even comes close.
Yeah.
From A to B, from top to bottom, inside out. Score to script to performance to story arc, all of it. All right? And when I watch that, I think to myself, like, this is your life, just it becomes big and small all at once. You're like, this is the chance, man.
Yeah.
This is my chance right now. This moment's all I have. It's the only thing guaranteed. I've had everything before, but that's gone. I don't know what the future has in store.
True.
And all I have is right now. And it's not just that moment. It's all the moments that you get in between. But you think, don't waste them. Don't wish them away. Right now, I find myself doing that. That fly almost landed on your head. I find myself at times when things are hard. I think a lot of us have a tendency to do this.
Yeah.
God, I just can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Let's get ahead to springtime. Man. Winter sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to fight that feeling right now because there are times, work gets hard, moments are difficult, and you think, I just want to speed through this.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't do that.
Right.
Because we look back and we think, I should have appreciated every moment, even those.
That's kind of how I felt like recently teaching. I was like, man, I've got to make this as much as I can.
Nestle into those moments, right?
Yeah, because I was getting a little carried away. I was like, I'm just looking at the next meeting I have. I'm looking at whatever, and I've got kids right in front of me right now.
Yeah.
Stop. Put that aside. Wait a second. We need to engage right now. We need to, even though they were working on stuff, I was like, I have time to bounce around, make a connection, do something special right now. Do it. And you catch yourself and you're just like, wow, what am I doing? Come on. And it's okay. It's human. It is
Totally.
what it is. And that's why we have conversations, why we have friends, accountability, colleagues, partners, whatever. And you got to remind each other that don't forget about that, because we're here now living in the moment. Yeah. So,
but I am great. I'm loving this week. It is beautiful outside.
Oh, yeah.
The county fair in Fairfield County is always the second week of October. It's the latest county fair in Ohio.
I was going to say it has to be.
It is. It's the last one, man. It prides itself in that. Our fairgrounds, too. Go look up Fairfield, Ohio, or Fairfield County, Ohio Fairgrounds, Lancaster.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like in the shadow of Mount Pleasant, a.k.a. Standing Stone.
Yep.
The fairgrounds are right there. There's all these hills and tons of trees that surround it. Old building. The old round barn is in like some film from the 30s. Beautiful buildings. It's just gorgeous. And every year, the leaves start changing, and it's one of the most Americana things you can experience. Like that's just right within reach. It's beautiful, and very, I don't know, seasonal, festive. It gets you in the mood. But with what's going on right now, it's only junior fair is the only thing going on. So unless you're a kid showing an animal or doing your project, you can't get in. So we are having a Smith Family Fair in the backyard on Saturday. So it'll probably last 5 minutes. We got all these different things planned, like a makeshift carousel, and we're gonna have pop balloons. I have a bunch of old stuffed animals in the garage that we just gotten carried on from move to move that we're gonna give the girls, and so it'll be a cool way for Winnie and Charlotte and Joelle, my niece, and even Ruthie to experience a little fair time. I'm doing some pulled pork too, man. So Dave Fogel, I'm going to show you up on Instagram, man. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm going to do it, Dave, okay? And I know that you're a better smoker.
Man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Got to get that meat out.
Yeah. Got to.
Got to get that pork butt going.
Was it pork butt or what was the...
After you smoke, you got to give it a short rest.
Earlier, what was it you're making in here? It's like the
brine.
The brine?
The brine.
Lane says to me, don't let me forget to... before I add the shoulder, to add the water.
The water.
And
I add the shoulder to add the water.
After I add the shoulder to add the water.
You forgot, dude.
Totally forgot. And I literally said to myself, as you're doing this, first of all, this all ties into mothballs and further up episodes, so you better go check that out. But I didn't know what mothballs were. It's the short of that. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, You said I
Isn't
swear
that
to you.
where baby moths come from?
I
Mothballs?
thought maybe I swear to you, I thought that you said something like the shoulder. I was just like, okay, it's
You
some
thought I was going to put my
special-
shoulder in it.
No, I thought it was some special technique or some
Muscle soreness.
like some thickening thing for the liquid or what. I had no idea what you were talking about, right? And then Lane's just like, he keeps talking to me. He walks over to the fridge and he pulls out a freaking shoulder. I was like, wait, you legitimately meant the shoulder, but it's actually the butt cheek.
I don't know what part of the animal
It's
it
a
is.
big old
It's pork
piece
butt.
of meat.
Dave's
So,
probably
anyways,
screaming right now. So Matt was screaming earlier. Now Dave's going, it's part of the... I don't
sorry,
know.
guys.
I looked it up and
funny
I
though,
bought it.
'cause- yeah.
You, how are you doing, my friend? I'm talking too much. Now you are
yeah.
repping
Yeah.
a very. You want to show the camera what you're
Yeah,
wearing? You
yeah,
were
just
talking
got a
about
little-
having. Yeah, get a little higher there. Come on.
Yeah, let me do one
Get
of
up
these
there,
little
baby. Come
lift
on.
here. Let me
Now
get
that
a
is the
little
retro logo right there. That MV is what you and I grew up on. Okay, now it's this weird MV combination that looks like trash. So if anyone in Mount Vernon is listening and you're associated with the schools, get it changed. It's trash.
This is the legit old school.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
That's the only
yeah.
way you have MV. I
Yeah.
don't care what anyone says.
I know.
But you're talking about showing some more like hometown spirit
No,
pride. What's going on, man?
So
Is
I,
the LEP4 have anything to do with this?
The crazy
or-
thing was, I think LEP4 does have something to do with it. Like, I legit, I grew up in that town,
Yeah.
and that's the only town I've really known. I
Well,
went to
not
the big city.
technically. You didn't technically grow up there.
Oh, here we go. I went to school there. Okay,
Okay.
those
All right.
were. I mean, every speeding ticket I've ever gotten has been in that town. Okay, so I've been on neighborhood watch for years. Okay, in various neighborhoods. Not that anybody knows it, but me.
Well, you're just
but
doing it privately?
I just.
I think
Is
there's
that
another
weird?
term for
Is
that.
that weird?
I don't
No,
think that's called neighborhood watch, man.
Doggone it. I just meant that, like, I drive a lot in the town and I keep an eye on things.
Okay.
Okay. I like to drive.
So you're a vigilante and
I listen to
certain
audiobooks
sense.
and I do
Yeah, right,
that
okay,
kind of stuff.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, yeah,
So, yeah. Anyway, I did report a break-in one time. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I saw some guys. I straight up either they had locked themselves out of their own house.
Well, what if they had?
Or I called the cops on them because let me tell you, that's what a good neighbor does. All right. So, if it's your house, that's fine. You can just explain that to the cops when they get there. Okay.
That's not my responsibility, right?
Otherwise, I don't know why
just
you
call if I
shattered
see
that
something.
window at 10 o'clock at night to get in that guy's house. So, and it was on Mulberry Street. So you know what's going on.
North
Mulberry Street. So you know why I called. But anyways, no. So I love my hometown, and I love that it's changing and it's evolving. And it's getting better. I really do because it is a good town. It's a good place. I love Ohio, but Mount Vernon is it has grown on me because I was one of those people who was like, let's get out of here. Let's never come back.
Well, at that time, it was the smart move.
It was
gotten
not going in the right direction. And,
Right. There are
and,
individuals in the town who've. I mean, like it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like thinking about. I guess tie this into Lord of the Rings, right? That the scouring of the Shire happened, right? Some hobbits got tricked into letting some ruffians in, and it went downhill.
Yeah, there was bad stuff going on.
then they redeemed it, man.
In the politics, in the schools, in the levies, in the things that were going. That stuff was not going. It was not trending in the right direction.
No.
And literally, I think someone who had the ability to do something about it stepped in and did some cool things, and that's great. And I've always thought that there are good people there, and most of my family's from there. So I started repping. I told Lane, I was like, it's time for me to wear something MV. Just bring it out and let's.
I think people are. I think a lot of people, or people who come to LEP4, will be pleasantly surprised by Mount Vernon. I think that they'll.
It's America's hometown. I mean,
even if they
once
just
upon a time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's coming back though. Yeah.
Was it self-proclaimed? And even no, I'm just
Maybe.
kidding.
Maybe.
Even if they just get lost at Ariel Foundation Park, like like that alone. I mean, there's so many cool things going
Yeah.
on. They can go see Max at Paragraphs.
That's what I'm saying. Paragraphs,
local
I think.
down home
Yep.
leather. Like
Yep.
it's when we do that.
The
little
downtown is 10 times better than it ever was before.
bike
it's
path
great.
is incredible. One of the best bike paths in the entire,
Right.
probably the entire country.
They
the
actually-
Cocos Gap Trail is unreal.
It is unreal. It's good.
Unreal.
It's really good. The Rails to Trails
Yes.
program, by the way, is amazing.
Yeah.
My uncle actually restored the old, you know that train depot?
Yes.
Next by
when I was
where
a
you-
kid,
where
I
you used
wanted to
live?
become a professional athlete so I could turn that into a hotel.
Seriously?
Isn't that funny?
Wow.
I had dreams of like,
Yeah, that's
what a
pretty cool.
weird correlation.
Have you ever been
That's
inside
so
there
cool.
and seen the
I have.
restore?
I've seen pictures of it. I have not.
Dude, it's so nice.
Beautiful though, isn't it?
Yeah. So they've
I
been
love
doing.
when history is for a long time in Mount Vernon though. History was not saved.
No, those
It
things
was
were
torn down.
Yeah.
It was trashed. It was left empty.
Yeah.
But yes, in recent years they have.
They're
done
preserving it. They're putting money
fantastic
into
job.
it. The Opera House is pretty cool. Look that up. It's a great historical
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
thing there. So, but yeah. Anyways, repping Mount Vernon stuff. I'm good. It's great. I'm excited. Fall is my time. So love fall.
Yes, it's
Football's
it's funny.
going great.
Yeah.
Things are just
It was my least favorite season as a kid.
really.
Yeah, I love
know that.
summertime.
You seem
Summertime.
like you
But
seem like
as an adult, there's nothing better than autumn. And actually, Sarah and I were talking about this. It's funny. You get older and you start looking at seasons, for what they are, and you find beauty in all four of them. And how lucky are we to live in a place where we experience truly all four seasons?
yeah. Oh yeah, for
At
sure.
at their
love
core,
it.
all 4 seasons. Yeah, football season's going great. I mean, I just saw the best. I know that we're going kind of long here.
Okay, the chapter is
It's
the
there's no
shortest.
dropping eaves anymore, so that's okay.
That's right.
Right. So this is my last thing, and then I'm done.
Come on.
Go watch. Listen. Okay. If you have any, Tolkien played rugby. Tolkien was
Yeah.
his rugby captain for
on.
his school. All right.
Yep.
So it's relevant. All
It
right.
is relevant. We're talking Tolkien.
It all ties into talking Tolkien.
Come on.
And Tollers, he wants to hear about this match. I saw the best rugby match of my life, Ez. I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah.
This is also time for us to catch up. So you know what? It's fine. The first Bledisloe Cup match, New Zealand versus Australia. Go watch that. Find it on YouTube. Find it on ESPN. It's not just the best rugby match I've ever seen. It is and Josh Babcock was asking me about this. I said, bro, go check this out. This will get you into rugby. He wanted to get into rugby. He wasn't sure how to do it. A lot of people feel that way. Go watch this match. It happened last week. Best sporting event. Best athletic spectacle. One of the most dramatic things I've ever seen in my life. And I am not being hyperbolic. I promise you. Go check it out. It had drama. It had inclement weather. It had 2 of the biggest rivals in any sport. Australia and New Zealand is like Ohio State, Michigan. It's like USA, Canada. Or I don't know. It's massive. Okay, go check it out. It was incredible.
That sounds great. I'm down to check it out. I want to get into rugby as well.
You're just trying to make me feel good.
No, I'm not.
So that's quick counsel. We're both doing great. Obviously, we love talking to each other still. Some things just never change. Dropping eaves. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, here's kind of an interesting thing. We want to have unquick counsels. So that's not why. We are moving Dropping Eaves, especially the Amazon Show News portion of the podcast. We're sliding it on over to YouTube.
Yeah.
We are making, some of them, half an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Half an hour, 40 minutes videos.
Well, things
that
are churning.
there's a lot of stuff going on. And we're going to start making, you know what, Ez?
Come on.
There's been a little bit of negativity from some voices in the world of Middle Earth.
Speak.
All right?
Speak.
And they're not making positive speculations about the show. They're not filled with wonder and excitement. They're filled with bitterness and resentment. And they're trying to throw breadcrumbs into the washing machine and expect a beautiful loaf to come out. And that's not how you make bread, I'm pretty sure. Okay?
Yep.
So we are doing the opposite.
Yeah.
We've addressed it in a video on YouTube, and that's all I'm going to say, so I'm not too negative. I like getting negative on YouTube, not on this podcast. But there are some Sarmonic voices out there, and we want to be a counter to that. So we are going to get out there, and there's like you said, production is back. Production for the show is back. Actors are there, and we have a couple character or I'm sorry, like actor predictions. What's it called? Speculations that we're going to be doing that are probably going to be coming up this week, I would think.
Yeah.
So go over there, check that out. They're fun. We throw videos or pictures up there from Instagram, evidence. We try to use stuff that's tangible.
Yeah.
And speculate in a positive way. So
in a positive way.
Yeah.
Let's just say it like this, friends. We started at the top of the show talking about those individuals. And I don't know who they are. You know who they are. Maybe we know who they are. Who are out there saying things. They're saying certain things. They're saying it about the showrunners, and they're saying about they're saying about yours truly as well. Me right here.
Wow.
They've called me out flat out. Now that actually was very much something they would have done.
It is.
Anyways,
fabrication.
Right. Everything that happens on this show, though, comes from a .com perspective, not a .net perspective. I just want to make that clear as well. So
that's beautiful.
I'm sorry. Sometimes it's fun just
beautiful.
So it's like
I like that.
I don't know.
I like that. So anyway, it's going to be over there. Go check that out. We're having a lot of fun doing it. It's kind of invigorating and inspiring. But I did want to say one little thing. There is the big story that's been out there, and we talk about this in a video on YouTube. Go check it out. Up Talking Tolkien on YouTube.
Yep.
There has been a little bit of controversy, and it's been I guess like inflated, I would say, and augmented and sort of twisted. So what we're hearing is that there has been a casting call, and this is unconfirmed. This is from quote unquote sources that a certain, well, I'll just say it. The one clickbait.net.
Yep.
The one ring.net. Excuse me. Edit that out. Sorry. I don't want to be mean. I'm just calling it like it is because I think that, and I'll tell you why, because we as fans of a universe deserve better from a fan club, not a news source, who has been around for a long time and prides itself in being an authority. If that's how you're going to market yourself, if that's who you are, you need to give the facts, not your own spin and not some sort of veiled critique because you're not invited down to set. That's all I'm going to say. But so anyway, purported reports of background actors who are okay with nudity. All right. And so this has been kind of fanned and the flames are rising that, oh my gosh, here we go. It's going to be Game of Thrones, sex scenes, carnal nastiness that is just orgies everywhere. And we don't want that in Middle Earth. And we don't want that in Middle Earth.
No, we don't.
But the other thing that has been evidence in this is the hiring of an intimacy coordinator. I was even thinking more about this since we recorded. An intimacy coordinator could just be needed for like kissing scenes.
Absolutely.
Like I think an intimacy coordinator would have been needed for those scenes we saw with Aragorn and Arwen.
Seems like it's something that people hire. Like there's projects. There's like
Peter Jackson isn't going, okay, Vigga, now you need to put your hand on her cheek there and bring her in. I mean, maybe he was, but they probably hired someone who's like, how do we pull off this intimate scene between two individuals who love each other? They're on a bridge. They're talking about the decision.
They've never met. They're from different countries.
Yeah. Okay. So different. Even in the show. But you would need that person who specializes in how a love scene works or a kissing scene works or a scene filled with romantic tension would be pulled off. So those are the two pieces of evidence. So we've got an intimacy coordinator, a very well-known one, a Kiwi herself who has been hired. And then also supposed casting call for background actors who are okay with nudity. Now we also kind of talked that like maybe in Valinor, elves are naked.
Sure,
Maybe
it could be
an Eden-like existence, and they don't need clothes, and they're running around. And when they come to Middle Earth, it's like, well, and I'm sure someone
knows
way
what
more
that's
like.
Innocent and pure.
Yeah, purity kind of thing, like angelic.
Than what the spin was.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I did want to share all that to lead into. I did want to share one of our uppers' feelings because we talked about this on social media too. We reacted to it on Instagram, and we also just kind of said, let's pump the brakes and let's see who's reporting on this, right? And so hopefully that has been informative for everyone. If nothing else, there needs to be a counter voice to what's going on, and we're going to provide that. So Alex Bertozzi, just messaged us and kind of voiced his concerns as a viewer and as a fan. And I thought it was really cool. I asked Alex if we could use the thoughts that were communicated to us, and I got the green light. So here they are. Hey, just wanted to start off saying you guys are great. I'm listening to y'all's last podcast right now and so glad I found it. Just wanted to see if you could get some thoughts on an article I just saw. So actually reporting this to us.
Yeah.
It was talking about how Amazon just hired or is looking to hire, can't remember, a nudity and intimacy coordinator for the show. I'm personally disappointed because I'm 19 and was introduced to Loader at a very young age by my dad, and I'm positive he wouldn't have let me and my brothers watch if there was nudity in it. You guys were just talking about the younger generation, how they could get hooked on Lord of the Rings and the Tolkien universe from the show, and you guys were talking about the students you teach too. Don't know if this is the best way to reach out to y'all, but thought I'd give it a try. Just disappointing news, but I love the podcast, and y'all have a new fan of me. So, Alex, thank you very much for your message. And yeah, that when you get, and I guess maybe our point is when you get a story like that, that sort of takes these little bits of information, reported confirmations, and then runs away with it and almost kind of and maybe it's true. That's the other thing we've acknowledged.
And if it is, we will go just as nuts as everybody else.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely. But all we're saying is there's no evidence of that being true. There's no evidence of this turning into Game of Thrones type scenes. There's no evidence of them going for shock value or nudity for nudity's sake. We even had someone who commented on one of the videos who said, if there's purpose to a love scene, like maybe there's a love scene, and my mind goes to Braveheart actually. There's a scene in Braveheart where William Wallace and the love of his life come together, and it's their wedding day, you see nudity, and you see them making love to one another, all right? That is very different. It's not glorified. It's not, and I don't even know if glorified is not a bad thing. I mean, it's like, that is a beautiful thing when that happens between two people who love each other. But it's not, it's not grotesque. It's not gross. It's not in there to elicit a carnal response. It's more of a, hey, this is what's really happening with these two characters. This happens in real life. That's how we all got here. Right? Like, it is a beautiful component of life when it's done the right way and no one is hurt. And so if it's something like that, and I can't remember who commented, but it was wonderful. If it's something like that, I think most of us would say, okay, that's fine. Like maybe, definitely, my girls won't be able to see that part. Right? But like years later, they could watch it and know, okay, this wasn't like done for clicks, for watches, for likes, for, oh wow, all right, an arousal aspect.
Right. So the thing, I think what people worry about, and one of so we're talking about entry points too for a younger generation. If there was one scene, right, or one thing that came out in a review and my mother saw it and said, you know what, okay, it's just that one thing, everything else about this, like, that's more okay. But what was pitched and what was kind of maybe hinted at or suggested in some of these other articles is that this is going to be, this could be across the whole season. This could be something grotesque, Game of Thrones season 1 like. And if that's the case, the reviews are going to come out and parents are going to say, no, not appropriate for my kids. And that's not going to be what Lane and I want, what I think a lot of people want, which is the entry point for a younger generation, which is exactly what Alex is talking about. So 100% with everyone on that. I just don't think, so the whole point here is, and what I wanted to say in a more sit down, lengthy conversation about this, because we do get short and we get chipper and we get kind of have a good time on YouTube. And
I said we weren't going to talk about it, and we're talking about it, but this is good,
I think this is the one time. This is where, like, because I think moving forward, we're going to do fun stuff over there on YouTube, and I want people to go there and check that out. But like, I want people to clearly hear what I'm saying about this. I've watched since before the closure. Well, I've been watching for over a year now, as we talk about these different, we watch their articles come out. It is, unfortunately, very negative. and I'm just going to say it is very negative, and the way in which it seems to be looking for controversy, it seems to be trying to connect distant dots to create possibly but you know what I'm saying? They're looking for
it's an attempt to form a narrative, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think, and unfortunately, that's my biggest issue. You know, it's like whatever. I mean, like everything else, they're fans. It is what it is. But that's what you said in the YouTube thing, is that they are a fan site, and that they should be treated as such. So are we. Like,
so are we. Oh, absolutely.
We're just fans. We're not.
Anytime we talk about show news,
we don't have inside
we've read
sources.
it. No, we've read it somewhere else.
It's commentary.
And that's the other thing too, as we're not going to pretend to. I mean, we've joked around about that in the past, but I think the biggest frustration for me is the misleading. It's like, if you're an authority, just come out and say it, and then no longer be a fan club. Like, and also, you're right. It's the negative bent towards these reports, and it's speculation in a way that is trying to divide, I think, a fandom, and saying like, well, you know, with Peter Jackson, everything was fine. And that's because we got invited down there, and we were the daddy's favorite. But now with these new guys, I don't know. I don't know about them.
And our big point, if you go back, and again, this is one of the first things we did. I think this was back in, April or August.
Kids table.
Yeah. Well, but my whole point, the reason it is upsetting to me a little bit, is because you can, and what we don't want to have happen, the reason we do positive speculation and just for fun, you know, chill, kind of like what's going to happen in the series, you know, whatever, is because it does not jade, I guess, somebody in a negative way from not, you know, or from jade them to the point where they won't go check out the show.
Yeah.
Or they're not interested in it anymore. Or it's someone who says, you know what, those guys were talking about possible nudity and this is blowing up on the internet.
Right.
I'm out. There ain't no way my kids are. And it's like, no, hold on a second. Don't be jaded in that way. Like, hang in there. We don't have anything yet. So I just, that's my thing, is I worry that over the course of the past 6 months, most of the articles, when they talk about these news and rumors, it comes in a form that is like, we should question this show, and we should question a lot of the decisions and the showrunners. We should question a lot of what's going on, and it's fishy, guys. And they're saying that. I'm going, you're jading this for people.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this is where we've decided. The reason we're doing Dropping Eaves on YouTube is because we said, no. It's the same thing that we sit around here and we talk about what's happening in other fandoms, what could be happening, like predictions. You want to make predictions, speculate, have fun. Really just go for it and come up with theories. And what if this happened? Or could you imagine if they did this? And it's all in good spirit, and it's just good conversation. It's not looking for, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So
the one thing that does give me a little bit of peace and gives me comfort and gives me hope is that, you know, so it's a different world now. Everyone's opinion is just blasted out there, and you can hear it 50 different ways to Sunday, right? Than it was in 1997, 98, 99 when Peter Jackson was working on these films. But there were a lot of naysayers then too. These books are unfilmable.
Yeah.
Some unknown director down in New Zealand who makes horror films, he lucked out with Heavenly Creatures and got a couple Oscar nods. This guy, no way.
Yeah.
No way. He's going to fail. He's going to stink. I mean, it took them like a long time to even get a deal with the studio, who was like, yeah, we'll back you.
Yeah, that was an interesting story.
And they pitched it as 2 films because they didn't think anyone would take a chance on them for 3.
For 3, yeah.
And that's exactly what ended up happening. So I think, okay, step back and look at the whole history as a perspective, or from a different perspective. Maybe that's just another way that these fans in Payne and McKay, the showrunners themselves, are akin to Peter Jackson. They're relatively young, they're passionate fans, and they're underdogs. And so until they prove me wrong, until they make you and I eat our words for defending them every single step of this way, instead of saying they don't know what they're doing, they're look at what they're doing to our Middle Earth, I'm going to stick up for them.
I'm going to err on the side of positivity.
I'm going to err on the side of positivity. Yes,
Yep.
my friend, I'm going to follow your lead. And I am going to think to myself, we don't even know what this is yet.
Yep.
Why would I rain on a parade that ain't even started yet?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. Loud and clear.
Yeah. So go over there and
Last
check out.
long-winded explanation.
That's
on that.
the last
Okay.
one. Yes. But Alex, thank you for your message. It's so wonderful to hear what everyone's thinking about it. And it's really cool too, because we've gotten a lot of people who have either commented or messaged us and said, yeah, you know what? This certain source is
I was surprised.
I was too.
I'm surprised at how many people have messaged
Like
us
they're
about it. I'm actually surprised.
They've got a sourpuss attitude, quote unquote. They're stepping in it, quote unquote. And so yeah, I mean, and I agree. And so let's all this to say, if you've listened this long, thank you, which I know you have, right? But here's the thing, like, let's continue to be voices of positivity until there's actual evidence for us to go, you know what? I'm not really sure why they did that. There's no reason at all to not be filled with excitement and hope for this series.
Yeah.
My friend.
Which is what we're going to do over on YouTube. We got some great videos coming out later this week, so be sure. And here's the other thing too. Even if you're not watching those YouTube videos, it does help Lane and I if you do go subscribe. It helps kind of boost everything over there, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
If I see that fly one more time,
Eat it.
I'm telling you right now,
Dude, if you could stick your tongue out and get it, would you?
I'm so worried right now that it's going to turn into like a Pence fly situation where it just lands on me, and I don't know for the entire podcast.
All I can say is
I'm petrified that's going to happen.
Thank God it's not a bat.
Oh my god!
Well, and your hair is almost gray enough now that you
that's
would
what
notice.
I'm saying. That's it. Oh boy. Is it the same fly?
Ezra the Gray.
Oh my gosh! All right. Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I think it's good. Are we ready?
I love this.
Are we?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to dive in here to a short rest, and again, it's not a long chapter, which is nice. It's nice to have one of these, and again, this has been so different, right? The Hobbit is just it's definitely something.
Yeah.
But I was going to do a summary, but I'm like, I don't really know that we even.
Just want to get into it.
Yeah, because.
Well, Tolkien kind of even summarizes himself in this chapter, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He says, like a lot of stuff happened. Great events took place, but to tell you about them might not be very meaningful to you.
Well, and he did that kind of earlier. Remember when we were like, they skipped right past the old forest and Bree and everything else, and we just sort of like, la-la-da, here we are. I mean, like, where did all those other places go? We moved out of the Shire, and just like in 1 to 2 sentences, you're like, there we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing here with a short rest, which is, talks about them singing, telling stories. Now, remember, just in recap, we had gotten past our trolls.
Yes.
Dawn had come, and we had got to go to their hole. We found a special key. Yep. Got in there. Yep. Thank goodness we were able to find that key.
That burglar. Before they turned to stone, too. That was the
Come on.
Key.
That was the key. You're right. So we get in there. We find some special weapons and loot and stuff.
The interesting thing at the beginning of this chapter, just to kind of set the mood, the tone has changed a little bit. They're singing less. They're telling stories less. And they had begun to feel that danger was not far away on either side. Right? So it is a different tone. They are starting to feel like, okay. And it's almost like that troll incident was a wake-up call. Like this is, and maybe this is mostly from Bilbo's perspective as well. Maybe the trolls, jeezy cow, the dwarves aren't as surprised, but it's like, okay, well, that was like a little initiation for the adventure. We can't be careless. We have to be on guard. There's danger around us.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It's the wake up call they all kind of needed. And here we go. Yeah. Now, and what's interesting too is we had the trolls are an enemy, and what's hinted at here by Gandalf is that as we face the Misty Mountains, they themselves can be kind of an enemy. We need to be well rested and stocked up, and we need to hit that from a correct path. Is kind of what he says, right? You get lost, it's in its own way, and we'll find out in the other chapter after this one. Why it's more than just like the actual mountain. There's tons of problems with the Misty Mountains, issues that will come up. But first off, Bilbo says, "Is that the mountain?" Right?
Yeah, I
mean
this.
that was hilarious, right? And he's
another
like,
wake up call.
Mountain?
Yeah.
Of
course not.
Of course not.
Like
that's only
your first adventure or something, man. Yeah.
That's only the beginning of the Misty Mountains. And then he talks about where, and this is Balin describing the lonely mountain in the east where smog lies our treasure.
Yeah, and it's how it's a long, long way to go.
Yeah.
I love how Bilbo feels there too, that he's just more tired than he ever, just hearing that. He felt more tired than he ever had felt before, and he longed for his chair, and not for the last time. Excuse me.
Yeah, not for the last time. Yeah, which tells you, okay, yeah. You know what's in? This is kind of a quick aside here. The narration, like the narrator in this story.
Yes.
Not the last aside. This is just a quick aside. Reference back to the first reread through with our good friend Jim. You remember that? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I was trying to place where it happened and I couldn't, but yeah, my last aside.
Yeah. But no, so like, have you noticed though that like things like that happen, right? But not for the last time. And there's these things where
the allusion to that, the journey goes on and
even like the narrator, like who is narrating this story? You know what I mean?
That's a great question.
You start to ask the question:
Is it
like,
Tolkien himself?
Is it Tolkien himself?
It seems like it.
Is it
especially
Bilbo?
Those earlier chapters?
Is it Bilbo writing it in a weird sort of
third
like
person or whatever?
Yeah, attempting to, but pretending that he's not an actual character in the story.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit. I don't know. It someone from our time.
Yeah, because. Right, I guess it works for Tolkien or Bilbo that he would have that knowledge that it wasn't for the last time.
Yeah, and it I don't know, like if
Tolkien
you pay
and
attention,
Bilbo are very intertwined, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Like it's hard to separate those two. I wonder if uppers who know the letters he wrote and commentary he wrote on the stories, but I haven't gotten into that like a lot of people have. I wonder if he ever addressed that, like if there was a character he identified with the most. I mean, we see it obviously. There are correlations between Bilbo and Tolkien himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But did he ever come out and acknowledge that?
And actually say it? Yeah. That would be interesting because I'm just it keeps kind of popping up and I'm like, oh wow, it's they really thought about the narrator in this.
It's a great point.
Okay, so Gandalf is leading the way. Talk about the road that they cannot miss, and also talk about that we need food. We need some rest.
They're like running out. Earlier it said their ponies were eating better than they were. So
exactly,
they're not doing well. Even with that grub they were able to grab from the trolls horde. They're running low.
Right, and he does know. Again, we lost Gandalf for a little bit. He did move on. Did that fly just land on me? We're gonna check the video. We're gonna check the video. Did you feel that? Did you see that?
Did I feel it on you? Is that what you just asked me?
Yeah. I just asked you if you felt it.
I did not. Strangely
I thought we
enough,
were connected. I thought we were connected that way, bro. What's going on? Let me down over there. Anyways, we were talking about Bilbo and Tolkien being connected, so I figured it worked. We are headed.
Is a stretch, but yeah.
We are headed. We're on the very edge of the wild.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Hidden somewhere ahead of us is the fair valley of Rivendell, where Elrond lives in the last homely house.
Yeah.
So I sent a message, bye, my friends, and we are expected. So this is cool. I love when
one of the few things that's been expected in this story so far.
That's a good point.
Isn't it?
Well, actually, if you pay real close attention to unexpected and expected, that he does go back. Like it happens a lot. It's really kind of cool. So they're expected now, but I think it's like when you just drop in sort of a character in a story and you just say, boom, here's this guy. Mm-hmm. You just trust us to say, yep, okay, that's a guy. Elrond, that's a character, and let's roll with it. You told me so, and so I believe it, and let's. And his writing is such that I'm like, all right, who's this new guy now? Let's go.
Yes.
Let's move into it, and it's just cool. So yeah, and Bilbo's even thinking this sounds nice and comfortable. I'm liking this, a valley. Rivendell sounds nice. Elrond is there, so that seems cool.
Because we hadn't heard. Yes, that's right. We hadn't heard Elrond, but we had heard Rivendell before, right? I think Gandalf at the end of Roast Mutton talks about Rivendell.
Oh, did he?
And Bilbo asks, like, where is that or something? And it's when, is it where Gandalf says, no, like, stop talking. What do you know what I mean? He kind of shushes Bilbo a little bit.
Does he? Yeah,
is that
right?
Yeah.
You might be right, yeah.
Because I was trying to, yes. Yeah, he says, I had not gone very far. However, when I had met a couple of friends of mine back from Rivendell. Where's that? Asked Bilbo. Don't interrupt, said Gandalf. So he had mentioned Rivendell, but not, you're right, not Elrond. So we got that nugget there, Rivendell. Okay, what's this? And then he talks about his friend Elrond and the last homely house. You're like, well, all right.
Yeah, sounds really nice.
What is this place?
Yeah,
Let's check it out.
This seems interesting,
Yes.
yeah. So it's a confidence, I think, in the writer to kind of say, I can do this. I'm just going to...
Of course.
Which he should. I mean,
He should.
I like...
Yes.
I sometimes feel like...
It's also a great way to introduce a character because that's how you meet people in real life.
Yeah.
Like you don't know someone and you name drop
clue.
and I'm like, who is that?
Right.
I introduce you sometime, man. Great. They're great. They're fantastic.
Exactly. That's real.
It's
right?
real life.
Instead of like all this build up and lead up or whatever,
Oh,
it's
I've
just like,
heard
no, we're
of
going
Elrond.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's written in the books of yore that
Right.
I've read every night, daily, and prayed for.
Right. It wasn't like he had
Put
to...
in my bosom.
That's exactly right. Like he didn't have to hint at it at the beginning and then say, "Oh, here we go," you know.
And then we get to find out who Elrond is instead of being like, like we should already know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and Gandalf too. We keep saying what's awesome about Gandalf is he's this wealth fountain, whatever you want to call it, of knowledge.
Yes.
And facts just keep coming out, little tidbits here and there, and you're like, what? You know.
And
what
it also
else
builds
is there?
It builds Gandalf's character too, doesn't it? It's like, well, this guy is super well connected.
Yeah.
He knows people that even Bilbo, a well-to-do hobbit, has no idea, and the dwarves might not necessarily know who this Elrond is. So it's like, yeah, Gandalf is our conduit. He's the one who's going to connect us to all these different places and different people. Tra-la-la-la-lally-lally.
Absolutely.
La-la-la.
That's exactly
I can't
right.
wait to sing this song.
Okay.
Did you think it was kind of silly?
Their song? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't even...
It's interesting how he was sort of developing elves, I think. Or maybe it's just a different
for sure.
time.
It's totally different. It feels
So different.
so the vibe is so different.
Almost
I know.
like little tiny elves that, like Keebler elves, is how I kind of, like, they're goofy and
They're
silly.
goofy. Yeah.
Maybe
Totally.
they're just carefree. Maybe this is a different time in Rivendell.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Are they nude? Probably.
Wow, here we
These
go.
sound like nude elves to me.
They're definitely mischievous. I know there's something, yeah. Now,
Definitely mischievous.
yeah,
They couldn't find this place.
they couldn't find it. That's the whole thing. There's 2 paragraphs about that where basically it's just they talk about how difficult it is to find.
So they did a great job of this in the films, I feel like, because it was the way they described this of like, especially I loved the parts where, and if I'm skipping ahead, you just
No, you go ahead.
let me know here. I loved how they could hear. Where's that? There were dark ravines that one could neither jump over nor climb into. Before that, they came on unexpected valleys, narrow with steep sides that opened suddenly at their feet, and they looked down surprised to see trees below and running water at the bottom. There were gullies that they could almost leap over, but very deep with waterfalls in them. So just almost like this world beneath the world. And it's just it's a great visual of explaining the perspective of like being up and these chasms that open up into this valley. And you're seeing trees below you. What? Like that shouldn't, but unexpectedly and all of a sudden and then getting bigger and bigger. So you get this idea that the world is sort of just in this part of Middle Earth, it's ripping apart. Like there was some sort of, I don't know. It makes me think of like the like different areas where glaciers have just swept through and you've got, tiers
like
of land almost like terraced land.
They did do a good job of that in the show. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
they
Like
did,
it seemed like it just kind of like stacked. Like you're right.
And all of a sudden just kind of opened up in a way at the same time. You could almost, if you didn't know where you were going or if it was late at night, it'd be treacherous. You'd be falling down and to your death probably.
Yeah.
Which gives a little excitement, and we're not really sure like what kind of place would be down in this secret valley. Is it good? Is Gandalf leading us astray? Who knows? Who knows what to believe?
Absolutely. Can I say something here real quick?
Yes,
We talk about the like basically life paralleling these chapters and how it just seems to happen, and we don't know. I'm not at all tired, but
I am.
Can I? So let me read something. So Gandalf, as you said, it's difficult to find, right?
Yeah.
He's got his head down. I love his beard's going back and forth. He's looking at the white stones, these markers. He's trying to find his way through there.
Did you re-listen to that part?
Oh, I love.
Did you just hit the 15-second every time?
Gandalf lead me on. That's
the beard.
The thing. Yeah, but hear me out. So, okay, tea time had long gone. It seemed that was supper time would soon do the same. There were moths fluttering about.
They needed
and
some
the
mothballs.
light became very dim. How many chapters do you think have moths in them? And we're reading one today that I had a whole moth conundrum earlier.
That's very true.
And it's just wild to me that I looked at that and I was like, what? Come on.
That's crazy, dude.
How many times are moths mentioned in this book?
Probably not.
Probably
very.
like in this chapter and maybe.
Okay, I don't know this.
You know
Is
what I'm
there
saying?
the connection with? Yes. Oh yeah, that it connects to further up. Mothballs, something that kills them, and here they are, living as well, which is good.
I can't speak to moths, by the way.
Moths
so.
live. Yeah, I can't either. Is there a connection in the books, or is this a film-ism I have with the moths and the eagles? That's just from the films, right? Wasn't that from the films?
Yeah, I mean,
I can't even remember in Lord of the Rings if that was in the book or just the
can't
movies.
remember either. Actually,
I'm being vulnerable.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Don't think so.
I don't think we got that detail. I think it's something that Peter Jackson just kind of took liberty with and made. So I didn't know if that was an allusion to the eagles. I know that they're not showing up here, but
but that's
are the moths? Is that where you could draw that from the text? Like, oh, the moths
Mm-hmm.
are following them, and maybe they're going to alert the eagles when they're in trouble.
I'd have to go back and look. I totally don't remember, but that's interesting because I just know the idea is right that Gandalf can speak to and do, communicate.
There is a Gwaihir in there you can catch, but that's
really
Gwaihir go. He says at the end.
Really, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Which means go to Gwaihir.
I really didn't know
So
that. Are you serious? That's cool.
Yeah, I'll show you tonight.
All right, cool.
Or this morning, whatever it is.
Whatever time it is. No, but so they eventually see this. Gandalf is leading them through, and then he almost can't see it, and almost walks right off into this slope, and boom, here it is. Right at last, he calls out. They saw the valley far below. They could hear the voice of hurrying water.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All these waterfalls and rivers and whatnot.
Yeah.
The scent of trees was in the air, right?
Right.
And there's a light down there.
Exactly.
Drawing us in.
And remember, like the sun is setting, light is fading, all that kind of stuff, right? So as they go in here,
it's kind of a treacherous way in.
Yeah.
Like Bilbo talks about almost feeling like he was going to slip off his pony, or like his head hitting him nodding off to sleep and being woken up by knocking the back of the horse's head.
Right.
Right. So and it's slippery. It's treacherous. If they weren't following with Gandalf, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't know.
They
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
have gotten there.
So, but this is interesting. Their spirits rose as they went down and down. Their spirits rose
as they went down. I have it underlined too.
Yeah. And the fact that, as you said at the start of this, their spirits were not. They weren't in a good place.
No,
at all.
No.
So
they needed this rest. They needed this change of environment.
It's so different. So different the way the dwarves interact with this. This is truly a respite. It feels good.
Yeah, it's not any kind of they're not begrudgingly going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they are in the films.
Exactly.
Like, where are you leading us?
Yeah.
I don't know. It
They
just
almost
seems
are-
unnecessary.
Yeah.
I also love how he makes note again, Mr. Tree, right? Lover of the trees, talking about how they're changing here to beech and oak instead of those pines. They're a little more, deciduous and less coniferous, and maybe a little more welcoming and warm, I guess. The grass is also fading. The green had almost faded out of the grass when they came at length to an open glade not far above the banks.
Just that
of the
light
stream.
kind of twilight.
Oh,
setting, all that
yeah.
kind of
That's a
stuff.
good point. Okay, yeah. And then here you go. Never, ever forget the sniffing. It's Bilbo who says, it smells like elves.
Absolutely.
And this has to just be... Well, he has had interaction with elves before. He talks about it's been very rare. So he might know what an elf smells like.
Yeah.
Or is it might also kind of be like his realization, like, this is what elves smell like.
Yeah.
Is it a
could just be-
proclamation or is it a realization?
Interesting.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
Is he going, oh yeah, I've smelled elves before. Here they are. Or is it like, this is what they smell like.
Dude, that's
What would an elf
interesting.
smell like?
Probably
Hamburgers?
everything. It would be good smells.
Hamburgers are a good smell.
I think it'd be a clean smell.
I want a hamburger right now. Linen? You know
Yeah,
those
clean.
those cotton linen candles?
Yeah, I'm thinking your fresh scent. Like just a fresh.
Lavender, some lavender.
I don't know. That seems a little much.
How dare you?
Just a
Patchouli? You ever smelled patchouli?
just a valley full of lavender. No, I've not.
Lavender Valley.
That
That sounds like a hotel or something.
No.
Welcome to Lavender Valley,
How
or
are we
a
gonna-
housing development, or anyway.
Yeah. How are
How are we
it
gonna
smells
sing this?
Yeah, I don't actually know the tune. I don't really know like, was there a good...
Well, I listened to the audiobook, so...
Did you really? I didn't.
Oh, what are you doing and where are you going? Your ponies need a shoeing, the river is flowing. Oh, tra-la-la-la-la-ly down here in the valley. Oh, what are you seeking and where are you making? The faggots are reeking, the bandits are baking. Oh, trilly-lolly, in the valley it is jolly. Ha 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 ha. Oh, where are you going with beads all a-wagging? No knowing, no knowing what brings Mr. Baggins and Ballin and Dwallin down into the valley in June. Ha 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 ha. Oh, will you be staying or will you be flying? Your ponies are a-straying, the daylight is dying. To finally to stay will be jolly. And listen and hark to the end of the dock. Oh, to our tune. Ha ha.
That was really good.
Just came to me, man.
Did that literally just come out of nowhere?
Now listen, okay, this is going to sound weird
come out of nowhere?
and pretentious, and I don't mean it to sound that way. But when I read this, I shared that I read this in this gap we had, right? This break we took. I read it, and a lot of times it was allowed to Winnie right before her nap. And by a couple pages in, she would indeed fall asleep.
Yeah.
But dude, there were times where, because I was reading to her, there was this spirit that I felt, and I sang the songs, and I thought to myself, that wasn't terrible.
No.
It sucked.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. And I thought to myself, I'm like, gosh, I wish it were whatever. And it was just spontaneous.
Yeah.
And I thought wish I would have recorded this so I could have said, hey, Ez, dude, look. I mean, like, this was inspired by my girl, man. And I felt it right there.
Dude, that was good. That legit.
And I felt like you inside me, bro.
Okay, I was there. I feel like, please tell me Rebecca or someone is going to do a little bit of...
okay, and I'm not joking. Like, when I was... Like halfway through, I was thinking Rebecca's gonna approve of this. In the same way, Frodo the Nine-Fingered, she thought, okay, Lane, that was actually decent. She's gonna listen to this. She's gonna go, they've done it again.
See, that was great because like anytime I go and
it was silly enough, right?
Oh, it's perfectly. Okay. And also, I was thinking like you can't do so the way it's done by what's his name? I can't remember his name. He does
Ralph Bakshi, Peter Johnson.
The guy who reads
Sterling
the
Sharp
audiobook. I can't remember his name.
Bag Dogger.
Anyways, the whole point
is Realmheimer?
I can't
Let me look it up real quick.
But like,
this is my favorite episode we've ever done, by the way.
I know, this is so great.
This is so fun. This is so everything crazy. I've ever wanted it to be, baby.
It is so crazy. But like, I think about the way he sings it, and I'm just like, that doesn't sound like Elves at all.
Rob
Inglis.
You just did. Rob Inglis.
I knew it was Rob Inglis.
The one thing I got to say about Rob is I've listened to several chapters in Lord of the Rings. And that's exactly what it sounds like every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what are you doing? And where are you going? Your ponies need a shoeing. And
it's great.
But it's not bad.
It's awesome, dude. And I love the guy. And he's obviously got something
the same every
going on, but it's the same tune. And I'm like, all right. I mean, is there only one song in middle? And it's like, nah, but he's cool.
But it's cool because it's different, and it's at
the
least
same, but it's different. Yeah,
it's the same. But it did sound kind of dwarvish when they were he was doing the elves, and that's very elvish. I like what you did. So, Rebecca, let us know if that's approved.
Wow,
if that's elvish.
So
just kidding.
I feel nice.
So good. So
it's a silly. It's so silly. It's like they're almost kind of teasing them, which I get that part. They're teasing the dwarves, but it's very it's obviously. Apparent too that he had not developed Elvish or didn't want to introduce it in the same way. Think about like when we stumble upon elves for the first time in the Fellowship of the Ring, they're singing in Elvish.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, thank goodness that Frodo knows some of this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to translate it.
Yep.
Like we feel like Sam. We're like, what are they saying? Like, no idea, mate. Like, I don't even know.
Right.
What saying? Like, what saying? I don't know. Translate for us, mate. You know. Like, what do you mean?
I don't even know what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to go to the bathroom.
Do you really? Are we taking an official pee break?
Who would have thought in The Hobbit that we'd be taking
this is
pee breaks?
Wild. All right. Well, here it is,
Just continue
friends.
on. Actually, you know what?
How quick is this pee break?
Oh, I could be out in 45 seconds.
Oh boy, there he goes. All right, well, let me carry on. This is we haven't done something like this in a while, friends. I don't know if anyone knows this, but we actually did do. There were 2 times I think in the Lord of the Rings reread series where Lane actually does take a break. I continue on and I just drone for as long as I can, and I turn on my teacher voice and I just try to put people to sleep, and then the whole goal is that Lane will re-enter the podcast and wake you once again. That's sort of the plan. But it happened a couple of times actually in the Lord of the Rings, and so not going to say I have experience doing it, but I wonder if you probably could tell. So it is what it is, but it's fun. All right, so we great song, great singing by Lane. We move into Bilbo catching a glimpse of these elves, and he loved elves, and as Lane said, he seldom met them. He was a little frightened of them too. And this is the line. This is the one line that I think was completely taken and just doctored up in the movies. Dwarves don't get on well with them. Dwarves don't get on. That's it, right? Even decent enough dwarves like Thorin and his friends think them foolish, right? Which is a very foolish thing to think, or get annoyed with them for some elves, just because of the teasing and the laughing and so on. They think they're foolish.
They're silly.
But that was it, though. That's it. That's literally that's the mention, and then we move on, and we never hear grumblings, and don't
really even see much conflict between them.
No, and actually, it's almost like there's an appreciation for Elrond's ability to
by the
do
end.
what he does.
And also, there's this at least impression in the book that they stay there much longer than what we get in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems like it's a very brief stay. Didn't they say it was like, or doesn't the narrator say it's like weeks? And they almost kind of lost track of time?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And you almost wonder, like, well, I guess they're paying attention to the calendar very closely because they're trying to get there by Durin's Day. So it probably is actually weeks. But could it also be the impression? It seems like Rivendell has that effect on you. Mm-hmm. Like you go in, and valleys are also kind of weird, right? Mm-hmm. Like I remember when we were in New Zealand, we stayed in Kingston at the Boathouse. Go on Airbnb, shameless plug, the Boathouse. Mm-hmm. The Boathouse.
Come on.
Patrick Dodson and Emma Kate, his wife, have one of the coolest Airbnbs in the world. But
you okay?
I just threw up in my mouth.
That's unreal.
I'm good now. Oh, that tastes disgusting.
Jeez,
what bad timing.
What's going on?
What awful timing.
You just ruined the Boathouse.
But that is the opposite of how you'll feel when you stay at the Boathouse. Good. I promise you.
Good.
But anyway, the southern tip of Lake Wakatipu, and there's mountains all around. And even just staying in a place that's right next, if you live out by mountains, you're going to say, yeah, Lane, duh, obviously. But here, hills aren't big enough to end daylight 4 hours earlier than you're used to. But when you live in the mountains, mm-hmm. the sun disappears over the sun disappears over the mountains at 3 p.m, and it's dark. And after a while, you start to lose track of what day it is, what time. It's so different from normal life. So my point being, in a valley, in addition to all the magic and wonderment of the silly elves, is it also the fact that you're getting 2 hours of sunlight a day, direct sunlight?
That they're a little bit...
That you're just I don't know how long it's been.
It's
mostly nighttime when there's fire and booze.
It's crazy. We got trees and water down here.
You better not slip, you're going to die.
Maybe they're a little bit...
Should I just stop
wacko.
talking for the rest of the episode?
No, I think that was, it's interesting.
Is that why you kicked me under the table?
I didn't touch you at all. All right.
I'm going to search Unexpected Podcast, Ezra.
All right, let's see. Here we go. So, anyways, just moving through this. Eventually, we have one of the elves step out. You know what? The song and in here, they know who Bilbo is already. They know who Thorin is.
Yes.
So they are well informed. They are well connected, and that's mentioned by Bilbo that they do know a great many things.
And they love news as well, don't they?
Yes.
That no race or whatever group of people in Middle Earth is as
loving of news as the elves.
Well, and that was interesting in
news,
in,
not nudes.
Right. No,
I know that we
make it
you know,
clear. Get your words right.
Intimacy coordinator.
In Fellowship,
Mm-hmm.
is it Gildor or
Yes.
the
Gildor
whole-
and Glorion.
Yeah, like the spreading of news and passing on information, and we've heard
Yes.
news of you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we know who you are.
You know,
Right.
which is pretty cool.
It is cool.
But yeah, they're interesting folk. They know a lot and are wondrous folk for news and know what is going on among the peoples of the land as quick as water flows or quicker. So that is they've been. It makes you wonder how long did they know people who have been watching? Or was it just Gandalf who told them, or
The
had they been
moths.
watching along the way?
Was the moths?
Maybe the moths. I don't know.
Mothmen.
Yeah.
You know?
They make fun of Thorin a little bit,
Yeah.
and he's bowing and
Don't
dipping
dip
his
your beard in the foam, Father.
Yeah. It's long enough without watering it, which is kind of funny, actually. You know,
Don't eat all the mine. Bilbo doesn't eat all the cakes. He's too
Yeah.
fat to get through keyholes yet.
and so what do they know?
Yeah.
They know a lot.
Keyholes. That's
Exactly.
some massive foreshadowing.
Yeah, what's going on here? I mean, they know that, and see,
Are they outside of time, Ez? Are elves outside
they
of
know
time?
too much here. I mean, they know way too much about the quest, because the way they present it in the film too is that Elrond doesn't quite know and is looking at Gandalf going, he's completely not in the know. But they know enough here to be hinting at the fact that Bilbo was hired as a burglar.
They have to have the White
So-
Council in this portion of the story for anyone to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so obviously Tolkien hadn't written that yet. So
Yeah.
this scene or this chapter kind of changes a little bit in its tone in terms of, they don't know.
Yeah,
They
as
need
we
filled
read,
in.
if we just take it for this, for just the Hobbit.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
we're
No,
only-
they do know, though. They know way more here than they do in the movies, is what I meant. I said the opposite of what I...
Here they know. What do you mean? They like the elves? Yeah, absolutely. They know way more. That's what I was saying. Know what I said?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
I was agreeing with that.
You agree with me? I appreciate it. Don't eat all the cakes next time. All right.
Cake sounds so good.
Too many carbs in cakes, actually.
True.
So finally, though, we actually get to the last homely house, and they found its doors flung wide. You know?
Isn't it kind of fitting that behind your head, if you're watching, behind your head,
Uh-huh.
that house was a perfect house. Whether you liked food or sleep, or storytelling or singing, or just sitting and thinking best, or a pleasant mixture of them all. Merely to be there was a cure for weariness, fear, and sadness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is
Right
science.
there.
Yeah, they got pretty cool. Yep. Well, and this is the last homely house. I mean, Bilbo when they get here, they're all very happy to be here. The dwarves, the first thing that they want to do is to go eat.
Yeah.
And Bilbo's on with that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Let's
Sure.
go. I've
sure,
missed too many
fellas.
meals already, right?
They want them to sing. They want them to stay,
Yeah.
enjoying some merriment, what have you. So they stayed long in that good house, 14 days at least. They found it hard to leave. Bilbo would gladly have stopped there forever and ever, even supposing a wish would have taken him right back to his hobbit hole without any trouble. So even if that were the case, boom, we're still willing to stay there for a long time. Let's see. So the master of the house was an elf friend, one of those people whose fathers came into the strange stories before the beginning of history,
Yeah.
right? So he's starting to kind of...
Convenient allusion to his history without having to flesh it out. And,
Right, exactly.
but
So
with the ability to go do that later and not have to come back and rewrite this, right?
right,
It's genius.
exactly.
It really
exactly.
is.
So, and then enter Elrond, the master of the house.
Yeah.
He was their chief. And he talks a little bit about just the relationship between him and Gandalf. Also talking that he's as wise as a wizard, which come on, is he? You know what?
Whoa.
As wise as what's a wizard for if not for his wisdom? Okay, I don't know. Like just
Dude,
he's
I think
more,
you
he's
just made
I
Elrond
wasn't dis-
fans pretty upset.
I wasn't dissing. Actually, I was worried that people were going to say that I was, taking Gandalf and bringing him down. Just
Wow.
Only-
wow.
no.
Oh, man, you're just really...
no, I don't want anybody to think Gandalf's way more than
Wow.
just his wisdom. But
That's-
still, I don't know. Elrond though, as wise as a wizard. I don't know. I don't know, man.
That's Womprat_2M.
Yeah,
you can
send me
go
your
there
hate.
and send some...
Some of your hate.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, it is interesting to think. I've never thought of Elrond in that way as wise as a wizard. But I think about how many times they confer, right? And discuss things and talk things over, and how Elrond was one who said, throw it into the fire, destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wise. That sounds like something that Gandalf would indeed say in the same position. So is he as wise as a wizard?
Here's something interesting. Yeah, I did miss this line.
Yeah.
He's also as vulnerable as a king of dwarves. And as kind as summer. So, okay, just he was as noble and as fair in face as an elf lord. Who are we talking about here? Am I got the wrong? I mean, we're talking about Elrond, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. As strong as a warrior, as wise as a wizard.
Venerable. So
What did
it's
I say?
mighty. You said vulnerable.
What did I say?
Venerable. So as mighty as a king of dwarves. Yeah, okay,
I
that makes
was
more
about
sense,
to
doesn't
say,
it?
man.
That was throwing me off. I'm like, as vulnerable as a...
I was like, what are we saying? I was like, that, man.
Well, that's more interesting, isn't it? As vulnerable as a king of dwarves?
That gives me great solace. Okay? Great solace.
Dude, I have kind as summer underlined too. Because if you think about summer, like everything's easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's food everywhere. It's nice and warm.
Yeah,
You could go around nude if you wanted.
You could. You
Just
could.
get your intimacy coordinator and you'd be
Some
fine.
People,
I mean,
some people do. Yeah. Yeah.
some people do actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. No, I'm glad you pointed that. That's good because I was a little concerned. I was like, no, we're either knocking Elrond there, and I was just
Yeah.
kidding about my knock on him, or you were knocking one of the, dwarf kings.
Well, let's not knock anyone unless they're
I
a
don't
door.
think that's
Door in.
I think that's right. Evil things did not come into that valley.
Yeah. It's pretty
Which
cool.
that statement in and of by itself will tell you Elrond's no joke.
Yeah.
All right, he's legit,
Yeah.
and he's not going to have any of that nonsense going on. So now they start to kind of talk about, that they need provisions.
Mm-hmm.
Their plans. They need some advice. Right, the time came to Midsummer Eve. And they were to go on again with the early sun on midsummer morning. Elrond knew about runes of every kind. That day he looked at the swords they had brought. And so this is cool. We get him looking at some of these swords that came from the trolls. We talked about whether they were stolen. Like, did the trolls themselves steal those
Right,
swords?
we'd ask
or were
those questions, yeah.
Right. We learn about Gondolin.
Right.
This
Which
kind
is
of cool.
crazy, isn't it?
Nuts.
To show like what he had at least thought of and what he had. And also too the cool correlation between Gondolin being like a hidden kingdom and Rivendell being a hidden valley.
Yeah. So this is cool. You get the naming of these swords. You got Orcrist, the Goblin Cleaver, and the Ancient Tongue of Gondolin. And then this Gandalf is Glamdring, Foehammer, that the King of Gondolin once wore. Keep them well. I mean,
So cool.
pretty sick.
If Elrond wasn't as wise as a wizard, he might have been tempted to take these back and just say, hey, these are actually elven blades of a high renown. Like, I'm keeping these, okay? Thank you for finding them, but I'm restoring. And he goes, no, they're mighty swords. You take them. Take them.
No, I know. And Elrond's great. Yeah.
Ouch,
and that's
dude.
the thing. So,
Ouch.
yeah.
I just think we outed you as an Elrond hater.
No, I actually I like him.
So Glorfindel's okay,
I don't like any-
but Elrond's
Hold on.
trash.
I don't like any diminishing.
I'm gonna put a shirt with my face on it that says
I want
Elrond.
literally no. If we're gonna try and diminish Gandalf,
Whoa.
right?
Why wouldn't that elevate Elrond?
Elevate
Elrond.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
It does elevate him. It's just like it's a little too
I'm
much.
about to throw it down. I'm about
It's
to
a
throw
little.
it down
It's a
with
little
you.
too much.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. So, anyways.
How about when they call when Denethor calls his son a wizard's pupil? Huh? Does that elevate Faramir too much?
I should have said. Well, he's a
Oh,
pupil.
man.
He's a pupil.
Come on, Kurt.
He's
Come
a
back.
pupil. He's not.
Guess what? Kurt is coming back, and
He's
I can't
not
wait to
as
have that
wise as a wizard.
I hope you spill that White Claw all over your
I almost
trash.
did earlier, actually. All right. Here we go. So they talk about the trolls a little bit. Where did they get them from? All that kind of stuff. No one really knows. They talk about
Thieves
the
of
trolls.
thieves.
Yeah. They talk about the trolls coming down. Just a little bit and where they had come from. All that good stuff. Moria, the mines of Moria are mentioned as well.
Yes.
and that they've been deserted basically since the Goblin War.
Yeah.
Right? Which is we get all these
allusions
hinting,
to stuff,
to like these wars and things that happen. You're like, there's a lot going on
Yeah,
here.
and it also
It's
fits
a great
to,
history.
Yes, with their characters of, or the character of elves of having all this news, right? It fits right in.
Oh God, Thorin says, "I will keep this sword in honor. May it soon cleave goblins once again." You gotta, fella. I mean, be careful.
What you wish for,
right? I mean, we're gonna
Very
be in
true.
We're gonna be in it here soon. So,
that's very true. That's very true.
Anyways, so
Thorin's ready to go, though, man.
he is. He really is.
He wanted to kick some butt on this quest, and he's gonna get his wish. I think.
Yeah.
I've never read
Yeah.
it.
So now Elrond, though, how does Elrond know? Right? Did I miss this? So like so it says
About
a wish,
the map?
Yeah, a wish that is likely
Yeah.
to be granted soon enough in the mountains, said Elrond. But show me now your map. Huh?
Good question. Would you just assume that
Yeah. If they know,
traveling this far, you got to have a map?
well, and also it's like they knew who Bilbo and Thorin were. Like walking in, that's
Yeah.
the key that they already know. The key.
Key.
Are you kidding me?
Are you
Are you
kidding?
kidding? Are you keying me right now? What's going on?
Are you kidding me?
So that's yeah. So he wants to see the map, and this is where we get Elrond's sort of expertise.
In the moon runes.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And doesn't it happen a little bit? It's different, right? So the moon was shining in a broad silver crescent.
Yeah, he holds it up to the moon instead of putting on the weird like crystal table or whatever.
Right. But it's almost like, doesn't he hold it up just to kind of see it? But then, what is this? He said, there are moon letters here. And that wasn't like, it wasn't like he held it up to say, I bet they're moon runes. It's like he held it up and went, oh shoot, what is that?
Yeah, almost kind of accidentally.
Yeah, it's like, this is kind of crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe he did. I'll give him a little bit of credit here.
He knew
maybe
everything
he kind of
else.
thought, if
You
let's
got a
just-
map. I know. Bilbo
Here's one of the
is.
things.
Yeah.
Moon runes. Let's check
Yeah.
it out.
I guess if he is known for his map reading abilities and map lore, that might be something standard that he checks for. But also, we learn here that it's very
it's got to be the same. Yeah.
incredibly rare that they would be looking at this. Like, is it serendipitous or is it, is it destiny?
It had to be at the right time. It had to be
It's weird.
at the right time. Yeah.
And the exact same moon.
Yeah.
They talk. It seems even more rare here than in the films. It seems like this time of year this moon every year, no problem. But you're lucky it was this day. Here
Right.
it seems like it might not happen for decades.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
the moon and the specific date have to line up again. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, it just is interesting that you have to have them. It would seem to be more. Could you seriously? I'm just trying to get through the chapter here. You can play footsie.
I just
with
want
me?
a short rest,
You just wanna
which
play
is what
footsie?
would it will be
We're
a short
almost
rest
there.
tonight.
We're almost there.
I'm just kidding. I'm having a blast, man.
I know. But no, so we learn what these moon runes are, that they're there, and that they must have been written on a midsummer's eve in a crescent moon a long while ago.
Yeah.
What do they say? Here we go. And we learn that it says, "Stand by the gray stone when the thrush knocks," read Elrond, "and the setting sun with the last light of Durin's day will shine upon the keyhole." Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hidden door.
yeah, this hidden door. Durin. He was the father of the fathers of the eldest race of dwarves. Wow. My first ancestor. I am his heir. Okay, why don't you brag about it, Thorn?
My first ancestor.
Yeah. So
Adam, essentially.
now here we go. So Elrond. Then what is Durin's day? And he says it's the first day of the dwarves' new year. Is, as all should know, the first day of the last moon of autumn on the threshold of winter. We still call it Durin's day when the last moon of autumn and the sun are in the sky together.
I love when that happens, by the way.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah. But this will not help us much, I fear, for it passes our skill in these days to guess when such a time will come again. Gandalf says that remains to be seen. Is there any more writing? None to be seen by this moon. by this moon.
Snap, dude.
What? The next morning then was a midsummer's morning, as fair and as fresh as could be dreamed. Blue skies, never a cloud, the sun dancing on the water. They rode amid songs of farewell, good speed, and so on. First of all, I also want to point out that Elrond didn't know about Durin's Day. Maybe
Yeah, and also,
Gandalf did. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I'm also thinking, like, is it kind of folly to use moon runes?
Yeah, really.
Like,
you
is
want
it
to be
almost
checking that bad boy almost every
secrecy
single day.
overkill? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I understand wanting to keep something secret, but isn't part of the reason you're writing that someone would find it someday?
Yeah.
But isn't it kind of leaving a lot to chance?
Hey, Ballin. Look, you
Keep
got this
ballin'.
week. You're gonna have to chat. We want you staring at the map.
Yeah, but they're not like writing a secret note that says, "Hey, by the way, there are moon runes. Keep a lookout." It's like,
Right, no.
someone may never find these,
Right. Actually,
but
Ballin,
our people might rely on
Ballin,
seeing them someday.
We want you to watch this map now. We don't know if they're actual moon
I don't know
runes,
if I
but
like that as.
you know what I mean.
I don't know if I like that.
It's nuts. It's a little
It's
crazy.
almost too much.
It's
It's almost
too much.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is it a fantasy story? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want it to be believable.
I know,
I'm
it's
just kidding. Wow, that's awesome. And I just realized, you know who's joining us next episode?
Who's that?
Mr. Matthew Brady.
Really? Is that coming up that
Yes,
soon?
it is, my friend. Overhill and Underhill. It's a long chapter.
Dang.
And, he's going to cleave some goblins.
Wow, we gotta get him ready. All right, that'll be
Better
fun.
start reading.
Yeah, he better. He better. No, seriously.
You know what they're saying on the internet? They say
I know. They're saying he can't. They're saying he can't handle
They're
it.
saying he can't read books.
He can't do it. Yeah, that's what they say.
Here you go.
All right, friends. Well, let's move
Maybe
into.
it's true, Matt.
Well, we're gonna find out very soon. So
Matt versus months.
Matt versus the
Think about a
letters.
time thing. Ez versus era. Tom versus time. Matt versus
What was the word? Not vulnerable.
venerable.
Venerable. Oh goodness, it is. That one I'm gonna blame on just the lateness and the tiredness. So and that.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe.
As soon as you said it, I looked at it and was like, yeah, that's exactly what it says. I don't know why I said
Oh, they look identical except
now,
for a couple
solace
letters.
and solace, I have no idea what's going on there. But
That's just a mispronunciation.
all right,
How many
friends.
claws have you whited out
I don't know.
today?
Quite a few, actually.
It's 2 carbs.
Go watch the, well, not that many. I've only had, 20.
6 times 2.
20 times 2. 40. That's not bad, actually, if that's all you had in a day. Bunch of claws.
I'm hungry.
Bywater Post, friends. Here we go.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
So let's
That's part of
dive-
every episode.
Dive in here. So, first up, looks like we have
Taylor.
Yeah, and actually, let me get, you want to read Taylor's Bywater Post?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought of it.
Yep.
That felt like a burp, but it was a yawn. It was so weird.
right.
All right. So Taylor writes in Lane and Ez. I'm behind on the podcast, so I'm not sure if you're still collecting and reading people's Tolkien stories. Surprise, Taylor. Nevertheless, I thought it would be cathartic to put my story out there. So here goes. I love when people say here goes instead of here it goes. I just like it better. I think it sounds cooler.
Well, here goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I leave it up to your discretion whether you read it on the podcast or not, but be warned that it is a bit long and more than a bit heavy, but I suppose so is anything worth taking a long time to say. Oh, I like that Treebeard allusion. Yeah, no, absolutely. We're going to read all of it. I've never tried to put into words how much Tolkien's stories mean to me. Indeed, I've never told anyone that these stories saved my life. Okay, wow. It is partly for fear of judgment, as I'm sure many in this group can understand, but I suspect it is partially because the stories were in my life before I knew what words were or how to form them. Some of my earliest memories were of waking up every summer morning and popping in the Fellowship of the Ring on VHS. My little sister would whine and bemoan watching the same movie each day, but was always happy to engage with me in the sword fights that ensued afterwards, modeled, of course, after the sparring scene with Boromir, Merry, and Pippin to minimize casualties. That's excellent. Though my childhood was pocked with some darker moments of divorce and abuse, my books, and especially my copy of The Hobbit, were a safe harbor. Geez, dude. I learned to return to early and often. It is little wonder that as depression and self-destruction tendencies reared their head in my teenage years, I sought the stories out more frequently. By the age of 12, I was trying with little success to read the Silmarillion, obstinately poring over the pages of the only epic to ever best the tendencies of this bookish girl. Sadly, at the age of 18, my demons had finally bested me. Oh boy, wow. And I was given the daunting task of selecting a psychiatric hospital following a failed suicide attempt. I chose one by the name of Rivendell.
Yeah.
It seemed a welcoming name for a far-off place, which we've just read about. Being a scared girl only having just aged out of a pediatric ward. While it proved to be a horrible place, the thoughts of Tolkien and my copies of the trilogies were the only places that felt safe at a time when my own mind was not. Things got worse before they got better, but I was reminded often of Sam and Frodo and their terrible burden, and I took heart. Flash forward to today, and I'm happy to report that I'm doing much better. I took a long hiatus from the stories in college, but have now returned to them as a graduate student. As ever, the stories are a source of fantastic escapism when the world is so full of uncertainty. But doing a reread with you guys has added another layer of complexity to my feelings about the stories. The podcast has come along at a time in my life where I've been more isolated than ever. Thanks, pandemic. Yeah. In the past, this level of introspection would have spelled trouble for me, but a reread with the fellowship that you have forged has allowed me to feel a sense of connection and worth that I'd long forgotten. This is beautiful writing. I'm so grateful to have had the privilege of joining this fellowship, to weep and laugh and shout and cheer with people for whom these stories mean so much. I'm glad to have watched the love you guys have poured into this podcast, your friendship, your family, and your fellowship grow. It has lifted me up and carried me through trying times. Thank you for making the books and yourselves so accessible for so many fans and readers. Thank you for taking such a real and human interest in the lives of the people in our fellowship. And above all, thank you for working to make such a positive community of uppers that make each day brighter. I look forward to seeing you all someday at an LAP, sharing a beer in the throat, and thanking every single member of our fellowship for reminding me that there's some good... I'm sorry, I'm trying, dude. There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and that it's worth fighting for. Frodo lives, Taylor Stone. That is, first of all, very humbling to read, to know that we've been a part of Taylor's life. And also just amazing. You know, we don't know everything that Taylor's gone through. Mm-hmm. And just like we don't know what anyone has gone through. Mm-hmm. And the craziness too that Rivendell comes up here in her story. We just read about this place in Rivendell. Yeah. And that we're reading about her resiliency to outlast these. And we were dude, we talked about this on, so just to relate to Taylor, what did she say here? There's a line that stuck out to me. Was it about besting her demons? Yep. And I know that I'm sure hit for you too. That Ez and I, when we went down to the Rohirrim gathering, we had conversations about the mighty captains and ladies in Middle Earth, right? And how, you and I were both raised Christian, okay? And so the whole idea of spiritual warfare, demons are very real to us. And if they're not for you, if that's a turn off, that's okay too. That's fine. Yeah. We don't, it's just a personal thing. So to hear that term and to see what she's gone through and to remember conversations we've had about, the more that you achieve in life and the more right decisions you make, the more desirable a target you are to knock down. And that's part of why we choose to persevere as humans, why we long to choose to persevere, because while it only improves our life, we know that it or and I don't even know. I'm stumbling over my words, but all that to say, like, if they're coming after you, it means you're doing something right. Okay, like if those feelings are now, and getting help obviously is the way to go. Talking to people about it. That's the reason Ezra and I talk about it. I've had conversations with my dad, with my wife, with my mom, my sister. At times, like, yeah, wow.
Well,
wow. Taylor, thank you for that. Beautiful. Here I am thinking I'm going to make it through an episode without shedding tears. Not this time.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
It's something. Because we did just read about that last homely house, a little place of rest. And again, that's interesting. It's the line that stuck out to me was the demons. I kid you not. We were just talking about
tonight, yeah,
and we were just talking about how they do. Goodness, and I don't know. Again, we don't know a lot of people who listen and who write in. Like, we don't know you personally. We haven't had a chance to meet you, and so like Taylor's saying, I want to meet you at LAP. Yeah, I want to as well. That'd be fantastic. It's so great to shake hands, hug, get to know people, because I guarantee you, I bet, and Taylor and to anyone else who's listening, one of the big takeaways that we talked about and what we try to do among just ourselves, our own little kind of right here in that kitchen where we talked about things years ago, we have to encourage one another, because when you are being pursued and when demons are trying to get at you, there's a reason. It's a lot of times because there's greatness.
You're onto something.
You're onto something
good.
And that one, and I call it light versus dark, and the darkness wants to steal it and take it away, and it's tough, and it is so hard. So I'm blown away, and thank you for sharing, because you just don't know. And the other thing, I was thinking about this. We mentioned about kids and enjoying the moment in our lives and everything. You just never know what someone is going through or where people are coming from. So the whole thing is,
or even what you're going to go through next.
Right. And one of the things is just, err on the side of, what is wrong with just erring on the side of grace, kindness, forgiveness, and just positivity, and being as much as you can, and especially if you're able to, if you're not under siege, then step up.
Yeah.
Like, it's time, because other people are, and it's like, I need to remember that myself.
Weren't you talking about too earlier today how we tend to have this, or we have this tendency to, when things are going great for us, we don't check in on our friends.
Yes.
And how that's the opposite of what we should be doing.
Yep.
And how it also is sort of a, look at it through whatever lens you want. That's almost either it's a hindrance on our part, a flaw on humanity's, whatever, or a device to keep us from supporting one another and checking in on people who really need checked in on. Because really, when things are going great for us, we should be more willing and more ready to go out and help our friends, check in with our family, see how everyone's doing, because we got more. We got more of that good mojo going on, right?
Yeah.
We've got positive feelings. We have good self-image in those times, and
be ready, because when you do, as you said, you use the word device, and we're doing this because Taylor brought us right there. So this is something. When you do have that moment and things, the light is shining and things are going well, and you start to then fight back and help others, check up on friends, things like that. It does seem like a lot of times now you're bringing back that attention. Now all of a sudden, get ready to be sieged and warred upon and things like that.
Yes.
And that's okay, because the people that you're checking up on, and what I'm saying to Taylor and people who go through some of those things, they're already being warred upon. Yeah. So, it's just, I don't know, man. I just think as was it in Further Up or was it here? We were talking about we share this moment together, right? We share this world together. We ought to take better care of each other.
Oh, amen. Man.
We should.
That's
and we
100%.
should be kinder to one another, and we should help and just be there, because it's a special, special thing. You're listening now to Lane and Ez sharing a moment here in this dining room, and we're sharing this world with you. You're sharing it with each other. We're talking and interacting with you in this group. It's a crazy thing. We learn.
It is wild. Yeah,
people are coming, in the future. There'll be people that when we laid when they lay us low. When they lay us low, I hope that heaven sees us, raised on high. I hope. But there are people who came before us and who will come after us. But we live right now in this moment. And it's just like, I think about that sometimes. I'm just like, that is so unreal. It is so crazy to me sometimes that like I exist right now when Taylor does. Yeah. And we can talk and interact, and her story affected you, affected me. Yeah. And I don't know. I think that's why it is one of the, it is the best segment.
It's the best. It's the best.
Because it allows for all of that, and allows for these kind of conversations and stuff. And it's,
you know what it kind of is? It makes me think about when Obi-Wan describes the Force, or Old Ben, right?
Yeah.
Not to cross over here, but
come on,
not to cross the streams, which is a Ghostbusters reference.
Well,
but you know what I mean? It's like
I ain't gonna stop you.
It surrounds us, it binds us, and it penetrates all of us.
Yeah.
And how that, I mean, just that idea that we are like, and then you think about how lucky you are just to be alive. Like life is the gift. Where there is life, there is hope. Where there is breath, there is life. Like it's crazy, man. And to think that, this life is anything but ordinary, and to be taken for granted. Like this time given to you is whoever you think either gave it to you or it just happened. Whatever doesn't change the point that your future is unwritten. Yeah. You can make it or try to make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
And surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and help you as opposed to treat you like garbage. Yeah. Whether that means, you leave your family and you find friends who become family. I mean, whatever you got to do, or you go through seasons of everything. Yeah. Or you leave friends who are trash friends and you get better friends. Who recognize you for who you are and value you. And I mean, it's just, or whether you become, here's one, become friends with yourself. Treat yourself kindly. Yeah. Be nice to yourself. Like give yourself some grace. Yep. That's one that we overlook because it's the hardest. And yet it should be the easiest. You defeat yourself and you might as well not try anything else. Yeah. Because you're not even fully you. Yeah. So it's important to remember. But a lot of times that requires help from other people. So
it does.
Listen to those people. Yeah. Listen to them. Believe them. Believe in what they say. Riddles in the Dark. Thank you, Taylor. Beautiful. Riddles in the Dark. All right. Well, the old flying ginger snap. David Downing himself. The holder, the possessor of the golden potato, the cook-off champ, reigning champ. He got an extra year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Man. Wow. Is
this his master plan?
Boy.
Maybe.
We're going to have to do a virtual tasting.
Yeah, virtual tasting.
He's sitting in the potato casseroles.
Easy. David Downing is a beautiful human being. I'm sure you'll get to meet him at LEP4. If he's not there, we're going to go drag him.
Absolutely.
Drag him to the party and get a chance to meet his beautiful wife too. I think she was like out of the country last year. Wasn't that true?
Possibly.
On a trip. I think she was like in Belize or something.
He was one of the most unexpected, just like.
There you go again.
I mean, right?
I know, he was crazy, man. I loved it.
Just showed up out of nowhere and said, hey, just
the only thing that, David didn't have to do was he criticized our whistling. I mean, you didn't really, we know it's not like how you would do it, bud, but did you?
David, sent one of those whistling.
Did you have to do that?
Come on, send some whistling.
Have to call us out and make us realize our flaws. Okay, well, that's what friends do. All right. So he has a riddle here, but no answer. Dave, I don't know what's going on,
So
man.
you're calling him out.
Maybe you had to go jump in your jet.
Wait. Maybe he doesn't know the answer, and he
might
said,
not.
"You know
He might
what?
not.
I'm gonna see these guys. I need some help. I'm gonna call in some help."
Is this even a real riddle? Did he make it up?
I think he made it up.
So, David, we love you.
This
man.
is completely just made
Here's
up.
his riddle. No answer, so we're gonna have to see. So stay tuned for next week because we're gonna get David to send us the answer. We'll track him down. Galactic Paprika. A man says, "If you tell me a lie, I will slay you with a sword. But if you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell. What do you say to stay alive?"
Okay, so
First of all, this is bullcrap because a man can't do spells.
okay.
He could slay me with a sword. He's not a wizard.
If you
says
tell
a man,
me-
not a wizard.
A man says, if you tell me a lie,
Right.
right? So I'm going to slay you with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell me the truth, so if you do the opposite of lie to me and you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell. So either way, you're getting...
Or you just remain silent. That's my answer. What do you say to stay alive? Nothing.
Nothing. That's what I was going to say earlier.
Nothing. Or do you ask a question? Do you turn it back on him?
Ooh,
You say,
a man says...
"What do you think I should say?"
What do you
Boom,
think?
because then he's got to say one. I think you say nothing. If it's just to stay alive, I mean, that can't be wrong, Ez.
Hold on, wait.
That can't be wrong. If you tell me a lie, I will slay you with the sword. It's something. It's some kind of wordplay. All these riddles are some kind of. I'm learning, obviously. There's some kind of wordplay where it's like, oh, jazz. I didn't even think about that, but I should have because it makes the most sense. It's the gray area. Like lawyers are probably really good at riddles, aren't they?
Probably.
Reading between the lines, going, "Oh, but you didn't say shabba sha ta ta." If you go down to line C F Y G, I'm going to say you remain silent.
So just
Wait, is good luck the answer?
what?
No, it's not. He's saying good luck.
But no, what if you said
What
that
if it
back
is?
though? What if you said
Good
to me?
luck.
What if you said to me? No, I'll say it to you. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
If you tell me a lie, I will slay you with a sword. But if you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell.
Good luck.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Didn't really.
That's one of my favorite things. Have you ever seen that thing where it's like, I think I saw one that was with teachers, and it was like the devil leaned and whispered into your ear, "I will slay you," and blah 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 blah. It's something similar to this, and the teacher says, "I love your eggs, deviled eggs." It's like, you ain't no thing, brah.
That's funny.
Oh, I said brah again.
that's
Wow.
funny.
So yeah,
Should we have people send in their thoughts?
yeah.
their
Send in your answers
Yeah.
to anunexpectedpod@gmail.com. We'll read them next week.
I'll put them in a folder.
next
and,
fortnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what we'll do,
If
and
you tell me a lie, I will slay you with a sword.
the people
Should
who
we
get
give
the answer
give
correct.
a prize?
Yeah, the people
Okay.
who get the answer correct. Let's say we get a few people who send it in. If you know what this is,
Yeah.
don't be honest.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
We'll enter you into a little drawing. All right.
I like it.
Get a little something special.
We got some
from,
toys we bought recently,
Yeah,
right?
from Big Fun.
I want to go to
No,
Big Fun, but the
screw it.
name
Name the store.
always makes me think of like, I
Big
don't know,
Fun.
a strip club or something.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it does. I don't know why. If you tell me a lie, I will slay you. I say nothing. Or what if you just went? Or
What?
like, you
Who
do
says
this
you have to
gesture.
answer? I mean,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
What
to
do you-
stay
the question is,
alive?
though-
You don't say anything.
but the question is, what do you say? I don't know, man. I
To
don't
stay
know.
alive. I don't say anything.
I don't know.
I say nothing.
I'm sure it's a word twister.
A man said, "If you tell me,
I think he made it up.
I will slay you with a sword.
I'm pretty sure David
But if you
just
sword
made
me
that up.
with a sleigh, I will tell you a lie."
If you sword me with a sleigh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways. All right, friends. Well, yeah. Send in your
You just cut me off.
your response,
It is 1:40 a.m.
and we appreciate it very much. Thanks for sticking with us this long. We really appreciate it. What happened to that coffee?
It's gone in my belly, baby.
It's gone.
Actually, I think I just deposited it like 40 minutes ago.
Hey, while you were gone, I told
You
everybody.
didn't say anything. I heard you.
Silence.
This has only happened like twice before.
You heard me say all that?
Yeah.
I was
The first time you were stalling, so you didn't move.
I
ahead.
moved on just slightly with the chapter 2. You know why? Because
Barely.
I'm an experienced. All right, cool. Anyways, friends, thanks so much though for sticking around. This has been fun, and honestly, I'm enjoying The Hobbit. It's just
This
real
is the
kinda,
best episode we've ever done.
It's kind of laid back. Yeah,
This was a blast.
I'll
I'll go back and listen to this because I had so much fun.
I know, a lot of emotions. This was
well,
good.
that too. Yes.
This was
yes,
really
yes.
good.
Yes.
Good stuff. And the night was good. I mean, further up and everything was just
I know.
really solid.
I know.
So, all right.
When we said we were going to go short.
I know. How dare we? How dare we say that?
What a goal to have.
I know. Friends.
We're into Fortnite farewells.
Fortnite
How do
farewells.
you
I just
wanna
want to
share the
remind
love?
folks. Well, I just want them to,
Go to YouTube.
again, we've got YouTube, Patreon, we got the whole 9 yards, some cool stuff over there.
Yeah.
We are going to, I think we should announce, by the way, hey, if you stuck around, now you're getting the announcement, okay? Let me look at the dates here. The next Zoom chat.
Oh, yeah. Drinks the Dragon.
Drinks the Dragon. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that was pretty close, honestly.
Not even close. So next recording day is for us is October 30th.
Ooh, let's make it a spooky one. Let's meet in Morgoth.
Do we want to do
Meet in Morgoth? That's a guy.
We could either do the 20, so we could, it's
Martinis at Minas Morgul.
right. I mean, I'm just looking at the dates there. But we could do next weekend, or we could do the 30th.
Oh,
we wanna
okay.
do.
We could do it on...
We want to do
Yeah, but we're recording with Matt next time, aren't we?
on
That's
the
a lot to coordinate.
Oh, actually, you know what though? That's better. If we're recording with him, because then it's all Zoom.
Zooming.
Anyways,
Okay, I'm down.
let's do that. You want to do the
Have a
30th?
Have a guest appearance by Matt.
Yeah, and we'll do it when we'll do some Zoom before and after or whatever.
And Teresa,
something.
does Teresa
Yeah.
come in on those too?
And she
No?
might. Well, the Zoom, she might.
Yeah, I
We're
thought
just
she
doing a
would-
Zoom. Yeah, Zoom hangout. Yeah,
I thought she was with the BTK stuff that you
Oh
guys
yeah,
did.
sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sometimes. Yeah. So
I just want him to take around and show me the mass of alcohol they have.
good lord.
I mean, he was sending those pictures. I was like, this can't be real. He's in a liquor store right now sending pictures, right? And no, those were fridges and
I gotta go
pantries.
there and
And
check it out myself. I don't
he's
know.
the
what's
Bilbo Baggins of booze.
I'm concerned.
He's Boozebo Baggins.
I am concerned about my.
Boozebo Paper Baggins.
Just crazy.
Fortnite farewells. Gosh, we want to thank you for kicking back, getting silly, taking a nice rest in a dell that was riven long, long ago, and whose presence wards off the very evil that walks the shadows of night. Next week, we're going to be going over hill, under hill, into hill, out of hill. Who the hill knows?
Through the hill.
Through the hill.
Hell knows.
And over hill and under hill. Chapter IV, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah, you got
League. Chapter League of the Hobbit. And as we've said, we're going to have a special guest,
Yeah.
Mr. Portlandia himself.
Yeah.
And there might be some video game conversation.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
probably going to say orc cleaver as many times as he can because
yeah.
the word cleave is in there.
It's in there.
Which we
That's
know
what it
that
is.
that obviously harkens the word cleavage.
Yeah.
So the one clickbait.net would appreciate that. That's nudity.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, you can cleave anything.
Can't.
Just cutting it.
Guys, I've never seen anything like this right
What
now.
if you said, I got to go cleave some onions for a stew? Sorry, man. I'll be right back. What if we started saying instead of cutting or chopping, I got to go cleave?
That would. I don't know. That would. I'm not a fan.
Gotta go.
Not a fan. Let
Gotta
me
go.
cleave this episode real quick.
Do you have someone who cleaves your hair, especially because of the way it lays?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Friends, I'm going to say next episode, I'm going to say it's going to go extra long.
It's going to be a two-parter. It's a long chapter.
It's two-parter because
Maybe
we
three-parter.
legitimately said it was going to be short. The theme for this episode was legitimately how long can we go? I don't know if you guys figured that out yet.
Jeez, dude,
Even
really?
the Fortnite farewell. It's the longest Fortnite farewell we have ever had. I just want you to know that.
You know, okay, so instead
I love
of
it. And I love
instead of some individuals thinking it's like rambling or I think we should just appreciate this time we have together.
That's what I was saying.
I'm not talking about you. Again, now I'm doing it. One should appreciate the time one has.
There we go. That was full circle.
Solace.
That was full circle.
was.
Back to the beginning of the episode.
You
I have
could
no idea
probably
how you
can this episode and just sell it and say, "Here's what we're trying to be."
Right. This is everything that the One
That
Ring
you've
was
ever-
not want. What?
Dang.
No, I
bro.
didn't even say. I meant the actual One Ring. I meant like.
No, I know what you
it's
meant,
everything.
and you're right.
All right, friends. Hey, look.
right.
If you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like us, write a review, leave a comment, subscribe on YouTube, send us a Shadowfax.
Oh, that's my line.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a fortnight, and remember, Bilbo knows.